Good morning, Mr. Coteau. Jeremiah from Ghana and Toronto News.
Morning.
Good morning. We do have a few personal questions within our community that we always wish we could get answers for. One of the first one is, what is the mandate of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism with respect to Africans living in Ontario?
Well, there's the Ministry of Culture and Tourism is responsible for promoting the province of Ontario. So, in relation to people of African background, anything that comes into Ontario that is connected to the celebration of the culture, our ministry is there to support that. So, if you have the Royal Ontario Museum at the Science Centre, the Ontario Art Gallery, if there's celebrations that come forward, we are here to support the celebration of all the cultures in Ontario, and including the very beautiful culture of Africa.
What are some of the direct benefits that Africans in Ontario should be expecting from the very latest budget that was passed in the legislature?
Well, there's money that again supports the Ministry of Tourism Culture. Again, there's certain grants that are there that all Ontarians are eligible, different groups. So I would suggest people from all cultures, including from mainland or continental Africa, to look at the different types of grants that may be there for them that they can apply for. But in addition to that, if there's when it comes to our schools, when it comes to to healthcare, when it comes to any type of service, we have a large African population in Toronto and the rest of Ontario, and we're making sure that we invest in education, healthcare, and other services to benefit all residents. So I think those are the main benefits for all of our citizens.
Now, I heard of this AfroCentric Healthcare, directly geared towards people of ethnic backgrounds.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more on that?
So we know, in different cultures, there's different types of sicknesses, different types of conditions that bring on sicknesses. We know things like sickle cell are specific to certain cultures. We know that diabetes, for example, is higher in one culture than the other. So in the Malvern community in Scarborough River, during the government's last mandate, the establishment of the Taibus Health Centre was created, and it has a focus on African people of African descent. So really focusing on holistic approach to healthcare. We have one that works with the Chinese community, different ethnicities, different groups, but this one really allows care practitioners in Ontario to focus in on a specific group so they can bring forward better solutions for that community.
Thank you. Also, we do need representation in the legislature.
Yeah.
Hardly would you find people of African descent in the legislature. I know you one of them, one of the two currently. Yeah. What are some of the things that the government is directly doing to attract people of minorities, minority backgrounds to your parties or to the even other parties?
Well, I was encouraged to run for this position by one of my people I really look forward or towards for advice. Someone who means a lot to me in regards to being a tribute to her community, and that's Marianne Chambers. She was a former Liberal cabinet minister. Before her there was Alvin Curling, who was the Speaker of the House, and way back in the 1960s, I think it was 1962, I could be off by a couple of years, but Harold Brathwaite was the first member of the Ontario Legislative Assembly who is of African Canadian descent. So right now, the Liberal Party is the first party that has two members of African Canadian descent, Minister Best, Margaret Best, and myself. So I think that this party really is trying to be reflective of the cultures that make up this province. So I would say that we're constantly looking for great candidates to run in ridings, and I encourage all people to get involved. within any party that they think represents their needs, so they can be part of that political process. But I believe that our party represents those interests the best. So.
But then, are there any specific steps being taken by the government to encourage people of African descent backgrounds and?
Yeah, I think there are not-for-profits that are out there, like Operation Vote, different types of organizations that are working through the grassroots to encourage people to get involved politically. I don't think government's in the business of encouraging people to become candidates, but they'll supply information when asked for. I think it's up to us as a community to make sure that people realize that there are opportunities for people to get involved, to run as candidates. So when I'm out there, me as Michael Coteau, and also as a big supporter of an inclusive style of politics, I always get out there and encourage people to get involved with board of directors, get involved with municipal government, run federally, do what you can to represent your community.
And then we're also very interested in at least making our communities grow here in Ontario. What are some of the very specific help that we can get in terms of funding or grants, and where can we get these from? There
are many different places you can go. If you're starting a business, there's small business resource guides that are out there. If you're looking for, we have. In the Legislative Assembly now, we have an Eastern Economic Growth grant that's out there. So if you're a business that's out there that wants to expand to attract more jobs, there are opportunities out there. But I think the best way, to go about looking for those opportunities, to contact your local MPP. But don't just stop at your MPP. Talk to your city councillor, talk to your federal representative, and explore all venues, because there's so many different tools that are out there for retraining, for grants, for business expansion. There's things out there, but you have to be very specific based on that sector, right? So my advice is reach out and contact your local representative.
So what do you think people of African descent in Ontario ought to do, again, to involve themselves in politics? And then, well, like you said, not necessarily at the provincial level, but then maybe at any level. What are the things that you will advise us to do?
When I get out to, like, for example, conventions or, different types of political gatherings, we're not represented well. So I think the first thing is to show up and to get involved. I think we come from, if you look internationally, if you look in the Caribbean and Africa and South America, you look at where the African diaspora is internationally. There's a lot of involvement in politics. Even in the United States, I think in Canada we need to step up a bit and be more involved. And individually, I know in my riding there are many people from the African culture, West Indian culture, that come in and talk to me. But I think we have to make sure that it's 100,000 people in Ontario of Ghanaian descent, right? That's a large number.
Yes.
So it's making sure that your community leaders capture that message of that community and bring it right back to the government or political parties, to make sure that they realize that there's a large community that wants to be involved, that has concerns, and wants to be heard, right? So I think that's an important piece.
So what you're saying is, if, for example, we do have any internal issue that needs to be resolved, do we go directly to our MPP, or who do we directly go to?
Well, I would go to the local political organization. So at the riding level, there's usually, like in Don Valley East, we'll have a riding association. So the Conservatives, so the NDP, so the Green Party. Figure out where you fit on the ideology, right? Like which party represents your interest, and get involved at that level. And that's really a launching pad for further involvement. But if there's anyone in the community that wants specific advice around how to get involved, they can always contact again, their local representative, or city councilor, anyone. Just get involved. Just get involved. go to the library, pick up you know, a book about what's happening in Ontario or in Canada currently. You know, get involved, learn about, you know, what the issues are. You know, pick up the paper, talk to your neighbor. Politics, you know, is really an individual sport, right? So, you know, yes, we go out and we work together, but it's up to you as an individual to take in information, think about it, and come forward with your ideas and your beliefs, and hopefully, you know, get involved to make change, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we're doing, right?
Yes.
Nothing's perfect. We're just trying to figure out how to get better at things. Yeah.
On a personal note, what are your political aspirations?
Well, you know, I was a trustee for 8 years of the Toronto District School Board, and you know, I've just become an MPP 6 months ago. You know, for me, you know, I've always wanted to be involved in politics,
Nice.
and I'm here, and you know, I have some responsibility with tourism and culture. But for me, this is where, you know, where I'm at is what I've aspired to do since I was in you know, a young man, since I was 15 years old, and it's something that you know, I've reached a point where, you know, I can help people, and you know, I've aspired to be here, and here is where I'm at. So.
Do you have any intentions of getting to federal politics?
You know, I've always have an interest in federal politics, but you know, right now, being involved provincially, being involved with this government that's you know, that's formed government this 3 times now. You know, it's an exciting place for me, and you know, I look to spend many more years as part of you know, this legislative assembly, and who knows what the future will be. I'm in my late 30s. So I hope I have a few more years left to do something. So we'll see what happens. But for the next, you know, at least, you know, if I get the mandate from my community to represent them, my interest is at Queenspark.
But then I'm looking at you being either the very first black premier of Ontario or the first black Prime Minister of Canada.
No, right now, you know...
well, it could not now, but it could be in the future, like in the works.
Yeah, well, I always tell my daughter she's going to be the Prime Minister of Canada, so my aspirations are for her. I'm not sure she's interested, though. We'll see. But you know, it's you know, it's an honor being here and representing, you know, my community, and you know, my you know, community of Don Valley East, but also, you know, the interest I have as a citizen, you know, to support you know, people who need help sometimes. So, you know, it's an honor to be here, and anytime we help someone, for me, that's just, you know, the fuel I need to keep going and helping more.
If I'm in a different riding or in a different constituency, can I come support you?
Absolutely. You know, we always have volunteers. We you know, you know, there's many ways people can come out and support. You know, people can volunteer to help out at the Queenspark office. You know, they can volunteer within the community. In regards to helping for, you know, political purpose, well, you know, like I said, reach out, give me a call directly. You know, we're sitting in the Ontario Legislative Assembly, so, you know, I have to be careful of, you know, how much I plug my party politically. But, you know, give me a call, and I can have that conversation with individuals privately. So,
thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you for your time. And like I said to you last time, if there's ever an opportunity for me to come out and, you know, meet with the community, help the community on an issue, it would be my pleasure.
I think you'll be the very first person we're going to contact very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It's an honor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.